What's up, Nitro Nation? Muggy Maniac is in the Nitro Cave. Okay, so let's just cut to the chase. The last video I did, I don't know what's happening, but hopefully it doesn't happen on this video. When somebody calls on my phone, it interrupts the video, and before it didn't do anything, but now it stops the video. So that's what happened on the last one. But anyway, at the end of that video, I was going to address an issue I had. Okay, first of all, welcome all Muggy Maniacs, Truggy Maniacs, Buggy Maniacs, Monster Truck Maniacs, fifth scale Insaniacs. Couple shout outs, shout out to fifth scale. We talked for like an hour or so yesterday, behind the scenes. About a lot of stuff, okay? Really cool guy, getting to know him, and that's what this is all about. It's about building personal relationships and bringing people up to the next level, or whatever level you're at, helping people get up to that level that aren't at even whatever level, even if you're a scrub, newbie, rookie, whatever. As I said, scrub is all it is. People just don't like that word, but if you look it up, a scrub is a newbie, a rookie. When you go to high school, freshman year, you're a scrub. Okay, I was once a scrub. Okay, so if you're a scrub, you're a scrub. It's not a bad thing. Just do what you got to do to get to the next level. So anyway, shout out to Lights Out. He's finishing breaking in that sexy ass. I'm jealous because he actually found a blue head Novorossi 28.8 Rex Legend. I would like to find one of those. He said it was a guy in New York somewhere on the East Coast. His hobby shop was closing or something. He had some old inventory. And one thing to mention, there's a lot of hobby shops. If you guys, it's not all about just eBay and Amazon or whatever. If you go and check out online, Google or whatever, hobby shops, there's a lot of hobby shops that probably got inventory that's just been sitting collecting dust. And that's how he found that motor. So shout out to him. It came with a pull start, which sucks, but no biggie. He just found the back plate that goes to that, sealed it up, and he's breaking it in. But I will tell him, and a quick note also too, to a lot of you guys that are dropping 28.8s, I don't give a shit if they're stock. When you put them in something that's an RTR or something that's not designed, one of my other brothers, I think his name is, Joe, I call him Nitro Joe. But anyway, he's on the East Coast too, and he's having issues with his stock Losi RTR Truggy. He just ran only a tank through it with this Novorossi, and he opened up his diffs and they're making noise, and I said, bro, are you running like that 28.8 in that RTR stock diffs? He was like, yeah. I said, man, dude, you're going to destroy those diffs. Those two spider gears aren't meant to handle nothing more than a 20.28 bone stock dynamite piece of shit pull start, okay? That's that's it. If you're gonna think that you're gonna put a 28.8 Novorossi stock and you're gonna run it, hey, just be fair warned, and don't say that I didn't tell you. Okay, and trust me, I've experienced it. Okay, keep in mind I've ran a 28.8 Novorossi Rex Legend stock and modified, so I know how it is. And even all the shit that I did to the XTM, got it bulletproof, so to speak. That 28.8 has wreaked nothing but havoc in this thing, man. Okay? An RTR is not designed for that motor. That motor, you're going to just, like I said, some people just got to learn on their own. You got to experience it. At what cost? I don't know. It might cost you a lot more than you might think. So if you're going to run it in it, just be fair warned that I didn't and don't say that I didn't tell you, the Muggy didn't warn you. You're going to destroy that RTR even with a stock 28.8. We won't even talk about what a modified. I made a joke to him. I'd like to take my modified, any one of my modified motors, Pico, Reds, Novorossi, whatever, LRP .32, and put it in a stock RTR Losi, Truggy or Buggy. I guarantee you I will implode that thing. I will destroy it. Okay? With a modified motor, I'll wreck that thing. Those gears in it the two spider gears that are in the Losies are not designed for that, okay? They're not designed for, but they're designed for that weak-ass piece of shit dynamite that even Mr. Zaz said, if you go watch numerous videos, he even told me not too long ago when we talked, personally, he's had a few of them himself where they actually were like dynamite. He made the joke. They blew up. The motors I'm talking about. He sealed the backup on the .28 dynamites and guaranteed, and he's not the only one. They're all over the YouTube. Just YouTube them. I know plenty of people too, personally. That dynamite is just, it's garbage. And even John said he wouldn't even get, he was, even in the video, he was saying, I don't even know if I'll have this dynamite .28 for my kids, for my daughters. I wouldn't even give it to a kid, he said. So, I mean, it's just, it's not, you know, it's just for somebody, I guess, to learn. I mean, I don't even recommend it, and I don't know how many times he says, and I feel the same way, I don't recommend an RTR to any newbie. But, I mean, not any RTR. Let me rephrase that. I don't recommend a Losi RTR to a newbie. The race kit is the only way to go because the chassis is different. All the differentials, front, center, rear, they're all completely different. Shock towers, shocks. I mean, the whole thing is completely different. I mean, who makes an RTR with turnbuckles, plastic, first of all, and second, they're not even adjustable. Even old school days, me and fs-it4s RC were talking about, even back in the days, a piece of shit, heavy-ass steel turnbuckles, you know, even the stock ones that come on this thing here, they're adjustable. I can't believe that Losi put plastic ones on there, but not so much they're plastic, but they're not even adjustable. How in the hell are you going to adjust your camber? You're not. You can't. It's not adjustable. So anyway, you know, a lot of guys are doing that. You guys are getting modified .32 LRPs, and you're thinking you can throw it in some, you know, some entry-level platform. Mr. Zaz said plenty of times, the most important thing, it's not your motors, it's your whip, it's the foundation. When you build a house, and he was talking because Carlos, you know, builds houses, his buddy, the foundation is the most important thing. If the foundation is weak, that house is going to crumble, man. It doesn't matter the baddest walls you put on it, you know, all the bells and whistles, that thing, when storms come, earthquakes, in California earthquakes, but not back east, but you know what I'm saying? That thing is just going to crumble. It's not going to hold up. It's the same thing in fifth scale and RC and 8 scale RC. If your whip isn't solid, don't expect to put any quality big motor, and especially those Novarossis, as much as the torque they have in those things, you're going to wreck your shit. You're asking for more headaches. You're asking for more problems. If you got nothing better to do than to give yourself more headaches and create more wrenching, then hey, don't listen to me. Disregard anything I just said right now. Knock yourself out, man. Literally. Because that's what's going to happen. So anyway, we're going to address the issue that I'm going to talk about. I just want to give a couple shout outs, you know. You know, there's guys that are doing big things, guys that are, you know, at least I know Lights Out is putting that thing, and he's putting it in his race truggy, you know. So anyway, Nitro Joe is his name, I call him. He's having issues with his diffs. I said, man, if you continue to run those diffs with that stock 28.8 in your Losi RTR, you're gonna wreck a lot more than your diffs. You're going to start wrecking drive shafts, dog bones, etc., etc., etc. So, just be forewarned. And I'm not, you know, like I said, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking down on Losi, that Losi's no good. But it is what it is, man. Losi's just not what they used to be. And I want to read something to you because I go a lot on my videos. Before I get into the Flyski issue that I'm going to show you real quick and what's going on with Flyski, I want to read something that Mr. Roger111 wrote, and I go off comments on my videos because that's a lot what you know, people ask questions and they, hey, can you address this, can you do a video on this, and that's a lot of how I run my videos. Not all the time, but most of the time I do. So Roger writes this, and this was after that video I just uploaded about the X. He says, I have mixed feelings about the Losi X. Some people say they love it, some people say it needs more testing. I know 2 guys right now that never run them at the track. They went back to the other brands, or to the other, what it says, their other brands he's trying to say, because they didn't like the X buggy. I don't think, me personally, I will be purchasing one. But I still think Losi can be in the top ranks, again, if they dump some money into the racing program. Okay, kudos to Raja. Now, you guys know, me and Raja don't exchange, you know, me and Raja butted head a couple times. Because, you know, I'm, not that Raja doesn't keep it real, but I'm just the realist, as you guys know, to the extreme. I call it how I see it. It looks like a duck, acts like a duck, sounds like a duck, it walks like, it's a duck. And I call it. I give credit due where credit's due, okay, but I give criticism due where criticism due. But I don't make ignorant comments. Again, ignorance, I even wrote it down on my shout-out list, along with what next level is. Ignorance is lack of knowledge or information. Okay, if you know anything about Nitro, however long you've been into it, maybe you're a newbie. By the way, welcome all newbies. If you know anything about Nitro, okay, facts are that Losi is no longer what they used to be. And Raja made the statement that they could be great again. Yes, they can, but they won't, because it's done. Horizon's not going to sell Losi. Losi's not going to buy him out. I mean, they could. Losi, I don't blame Horizon. You know, and you guys know how I hate Horizon because of all the other things, because they just continue shit. But the fact is, you got to, you know, it takes two to tango, so to speak. You know what I mean? There's two sides of the story. I blame Losi for their poor management, lack of financial, whatever the reason why they let Horizon buy him out. Obviously, because they were struggling somewhere. Okay, but they let Horizon come in, muscle him out, and give him full reign. And when they did that, Adam said, adios, I'm out, because they didn't want to go the direction Adam was. Okay, because until Horizon owned Losi, Adam Drake and Losi were doing big things. Adam was developing shit. I mean, Adam didn't develop the 4.0 either, and definitely, obviously, didn't develop the X. If you go back to the older models, the 3.0, 2.0s, for those time, those are badass whips. If I, you know, even though I'm not a Losi guy, if I found a clean, and even John said this, in shape 3.0, I would get that before any newer Losi, even a 4.0. The 4.0s weren't all that. They had a lot of issues with them. The main issues, if you guys know anything about Losi, if not, do your homework. Facts of the matter are, is their drivetrain and the way it was set up, because the angle for racing and running and cornering, it handled like shit. That's why they had to straighten it out. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about the angle of your drivetrain. If you see the angle of my Techno, see where the rear drivetrain goes directly. If you look at the front, I don't know if you can see it, directly. Okay, the problem with Losi is they had it in an angle. They angled their drivetrain, and it didn't handle for shit in the corners. Okay? So anyway, Raja says that they, you know, they can be, they're not going to put any money, okay? I don't know what you guys don't, I mean, wishful thinking, I guess you can call it. Losi, Horizon is not going to put any money into the racing and development part of TLR, because Horizon doesn't give a shit. They're a distribution company. They only care about what sells, not what wins. That's why, as I said in the past, Dakota Fenn, a really bright, young, still young, great driver, Team Losi, they can't figure out that X. If you watch some more of Mike B's videos, he even says, you know what, I've just come to grips with the X just doesn't have the DNA to win, to be a winning platform. Okay, now what does that mean in bashing? Because a lot of people will say that too. I know Connor, Mr. Shout out, by the way, to my brother from another mother, Mr. Connor Whipkey. I call him Whip Ass. You know, that guy really, like, he's a full-on Nitro head. I give him props for that, okay? Because a lot of guys aren't. They're half E-word, half Nitro, half crawler, whatever. This is a full-on, 100% pure, keep it real, straight to the point Nitro channel, okay? So if you're a new subscriber, that's what you're going to get on my channel. If you're a Traxxas hugger, I call them, or a Traxxas lover, or you love your Savages and everything, you know, I don't want to rain on your parade, but those are scrub whips. They're not race inspired. They're RTRs. They don't even have kits, okay, as far as those go. That should be one indication. Traxxas doesn't even have a race team, so they are not race inspired. And Raja is race inspired. Shout out to Raja, man. He had enough knowledge and facts behind his decision to put low-C to the back burner. Not that he doesn't like low-Cs or he doesn't, you know, he loves his low-C still. But as far as what he does, you guys know he's a racer, and that's why we don't comment back and forth a lot, because he's the racing guy. I'm the I don't even like to call it bashing, the recreational hobbyist nitro guy. That's what I am. Will I ever do racing again? People always ask me, why don't you take your shit to a track? Why don't? But I'm not interested in going to racing. Okay, one, it's a lot more money. I spend enough money as it is just for my personal recreational uses of my nitro, and it's not cheap to race. $40 a gallon, $45 a gallon of fuel, what it's running now, for me anyway, out here in the West Coast. You got to buy one of those lap counters. That's $100 right off the bat. You can't even get on a track until you have one of them. $100. So if you got a couple vehicles, $200. There you go. Plus everything else, extra tires, extra stuff that breaks. You know, it's a lot of money. It's not cheap. And even if I could afford it, there isn't a sanction or club racing where I can go race modified. Not yet, anyway. Okay, I'm talking to the guy where Adam Drake runs his shit on his videos. It's called Revelations. It's about 2 hours from me. Okay. I used to live out where it's at, but anyway, certain days or whatever, they'll let you come run your modified shit, whatever you want. I can go run my Techno, the way it's set up, fully modded, but keep in mind, Roger tried to do that already with his modded Nova Rossi, and because it's not set up for the track, that thing you can't even run it on the track. It was just everywhere, because it's too much power. I'd have to change the whole setup, even to run it on the track. It'd just be all over the place. But anyway, so Raja, and whether he admits it or not, and you know, I don't think he would deny it, but he knows. He knows he had to, for him to be competitive, he couldn't continue to run low-C vehicles, because he would get his ass spanked by the Kyoshes and the Mugans and the Technos and the Associated and the Hot Bodies even. Okay, low-C, even to this point, isn't competitive anymore. And to get back to what the muggy I kind of ramble on sometimes. What does it have to do with bashing? If these guys don't dial in the shit, the racing and development of these kits, and guys like Adam Drake and Ty Tessman and Elliott Boots and, you know, Cavallari and, you know, Tebow and all these guys that race for all these top teams, if those guys don't figure that whip out, we're not getting shit. We're going to get a fucked up vehicle. Well, the companies won't even release them. They don't release them until they get that shit dialed in. Low-C had no choice. It was out over a year. They still couldn't figure it out. They said, okay, excuse my language, fuck it. Let's just release the X and see what happens. Well, nothing happened. A lot of problems happened. They didn't put enough testing, enough developing, enough I mean, and that's not an excuse, because they had plenty of time to figure it out. Even Mike B said, man, I can get a brand new whip, not know anything about it, and I can put in enough time to eventually I'm going to get that shit dialed in, sooner or later, or not. He even, like I said, on his other videos, said that 8X, he got it running, got it dialed in. He said, but still, even at its best, it just doesn't have the DNA to compete with the other vehicles and the other companies like Techno and Mugen and Associated and X-Ray and Hot Bodies and so forth, the tops that are out there. Okay? He said he gets more out of his, if you watch his videos, out of his E-word. Because at least he knows that shit's dialed in and developed. The 8X just never was. And I don't know if it'll ever be. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, some people even mentioned they might revise that X. Because they just, maybe that didn't work for Losi. They tried it, changed everything, and without the racing, developing, without doing enough research, or even having somebody like Adam Drake to figure it out for him, you know, hey, maybe we need to change this, maybe we need to move this here, move that there, redesign this or whatever, Adam probably would have figured it out. I mean, obviously Adam has a lot to do with Mugen's development. He's always, man, that guy, if you watch him, he's always putting, that's what I love about Mugen and Adam, just the support's there. The whole technical support, everything. Losi has no support. You got Horizon controlling everything. And they don't know anything about racing. They don't know anything about developing. They're a distribution company. They're not even a damn hobby company. At least A-Main, even though they sell a bunch of other shit in planes and boats, the guy that owns A-Main, he's a gearhead. He's a nitro brother. Okay? I talk to those guys at A-Main all the time. I know a few friends of mine that work there and that race for Techno. I have a friend of mine that works there that races for me. You know, they're not the big names, but they race for the teams. Okay? And they say that the owner of A-Main is always out in the parking lot. He's he's at the track running nitro or even whatever. The guy, he's into it. There's nobody doing that for Horizon. It's the corporates up there in their suits and in their, you know, cubicles making decisions on what's selling and what's not. That's just the fact. So, I don't know, you know, I'd like to say that you know, Raja had, you know, hopefully Raja, you know, what he says, that would come true, but it's just not. You know what I mean? It's a fairy tale. Losi's not going to put anything into the racing and developing of anything anymore. Obviously, they're discontinuing more shit than anything. They're just looking at the numbers. Did it sell this month? No. Okay. Can it? Next. They're just looking at what sells. They're not looking at what, you know, actual people want. You know, there is nitro enthusiasts. You know, I mean, and like I said, they don't have Adam Drake. They don't have, you know, Ty Tessman. They don't have Ryan Mayfield. Ryan Mayfield, I forgot to mention him in my last video. He was another guy. Top guy. He races for Associated and he raced for Losi last. And then he's like, oh, hell no. Horizon ain't doing shit with Losi. I'm out. And he went to Mugen, and him and frickin' Adam Drake are the tag team, you know, duo. Adam Drake doesn't have the reflexes anymore because he is getting older. Even though he's still, his 50% of Adam is better than 90% of anybody out there. But Ryan Mayfield is just, he's a whole other breed. You know, Ryan Mayfield is the top, in the top 2 or 3, obviously, in the world right now. Okay. Do your homework, do your research. And who's helping him? Who do you think's setting up his shit? Breaking in his motors, dialing in his whips? Adam Drake, that's who. That ain't no secret. Adam even, and Mayfield even gives him the props. Hey man, I'm just the driver, and I know how to do all this shit, but I rely on my partner, man. My partner in crime, Adam Drake. He gets my shit dialed. The first big race of the year, the Nitro Dirt, why do you think he smashed everybody? He even said, if you go back and watch any of the comments, he said, hey man, I just got to thank my team and especially Adam for getting my shit dialed in. Adam got his shit dialed in. The only reason Adam's not up there like that is, you know, he you know, Adam's already done it. He's already won his worlds and plenty of titles. He doesn't need to prove anything. Yet he still makes videos. You don't even need to do that. I mean, that goes to show you that he actually cares about what we want, what, you know, helping us out, helping us newbies, helping us people that, even if we don't race, helping us people that are Nitro 8-scale enthusiasts. You know, you own a Mugen, you don't race, no problem. Let me tell you about the Mugen. You might want to try this, try that. What do you think I get all my information for my Mugen? Speaking of my MBX7, she's, sorry for her, but she's pretty naked right now. So I'm doing a semi-breakdown. Basically, I take out the shocks. I undo the turnbuckles in the back, the upper turnbuckles. Fold out everything. Clean it out here on my stand really good, and without taking it off. I mean, I could have took it off, took more apart, but it wasn't. It was dirty, but it was not too dirty. So this is twice that I've done what I call a surface clean like that. I'll do it pretty much as best I can. I do take the center diff out like I did here because I always got to check my diff. And it's still good. I got 100K in there. It's still pretty tight. You know, it's good to check your diffs because the shit, you know, especially when you start running big motors and especially modded motors, you know, when you get into next level modded motors, even 100K, man, with a modded 0.28 or Pico 28 or a 0.32 LRP modded will thin out your diffs quick. It doesn't take much. So I'd say every, I don't know, half gallon, depends. I usually go by runs, so this will be 1, 2, 3. This will be like four rip sessions. Okay. Next one that I take this out and rip it again, it's getting completely torn down. I'm going to pull the diffs apart, check the fluids, and probably change it. And I'm going to go with the Losi. I'm going to go with the Losi 125 in the middle. Because I'm still spinning wheels, man. No matter what surface I run on, even the grass. Grass you usually hook up. I'm still spinning wheels on grass. Just my motors, my modded Novarasi 20.8, this badass here. As it gets closer to the point of just nice and seasoned, the 2-gallon mark, it's just, man, this thing is nasty. Okay. When you get one of these modded, you'll know what I'm talking about. Run a stock one, and then run a mod one. It's like I said, stocks are badass, but compared to a modded, it's not even the same. It's a whole different animal. So anyway, and then I'm going to probably run 65. I believe I'm going to run, I think I'm going to try, I have 60K instead of 50. I'm going to run 60K in the front, 60 in the rear, and 125,000 in the middle. You know, so yeah, you know, and like I said, I don't want to continue to emphasize, but you know, I go off my comments, you know, and I was really surprised that Roger even made that comment. Roger's usually pretty quiet, you know, but that's the reason he went to Associated, because he knew if he was going to be competitive and compete and hang with the big dogs, he wasn't going to do it with Losi, you know. And he even said right then he wouldn't buy an X. He's not going to. He knows. So in a racing standpoint, you know, but like I said, where does that? How does that? How does that transfer into to bashing or recreational? If those guys don't get that shit dialed in, we ain't gonna get dick. We're gonna get a fucked up vehicle, which is what you got with the 8X. You got a shit that is a vehicle that's way underdeveloped, way undertested. They didn't even figure the shit out. They just fucking threw it. It's like throwing shit against the wall and hoping it'll stick. It doesn't work that way. Trust me. Okay. So anyway, that being said, the issue that I'm having, Flyski, okay, fs-it4s. I got this about 7 months ago, I believe. I've had it now. Well, guess what? Went to turn it on. No bueno. Doesn't work. Put the charger on it. Charge up the battery. Nothing. All night long. Nothing. So either this battery is dead or something's wrong with it. The fact that I even have to fuck with this thing now, excuse my language, has really pissed me off. Okay? And I kind of had a feeling, man, this radio, okay, let me tell you something. Elite RC was the guy that recommended it. He's never had a problem with them. He's got 2 of them. Maybe I just got a bad one, I don't know. But he also runs mostly his fit scale shit. So on fit scale, you mean all the you know, bells and whistles that come on radios, like the 7PS or whatever, the $700 Futabas, unless you're racing or fit scale because you got the kill switch hooked up, yes. But if you're just a recreational average guy that wants to get your brap on when you can, you know, and you're not racing or anything like Raja, man, even this is too much. But I got it because for $130 I paid for it. You know, I thought it was a pretty badass radio. The one thing I don't like about it, see how this wheel comes out? I thought it might lock so we can keep it to where it comes out. It doesn't. It's cool, I guess, but the fact that it doesn't lock doesn't always work. You know what I mean? They should have made it where this thing locked, closed, or locked open. Or you know what I mean? Not locked open, I should say, but either locked closed or it was free. It doesn't. It's loose like that. And I got used to it. But when I started having telemetry issues, look, this is the original one, which I just pulled out of the Techno. So the Techno is no longer running it. I'm going to go back to a radio here that I recommend if you're not racing and you're just recreational, you're just the backyard, you're just the bashing guy or whatever, this here is the best radio that you can have. Better than the bullshit Sanwas. Better than the bullshit high-techs. Better than any radio because it's only anywhere from 30 to 50 bucks depending on where you get it on eBay. But let's just say $40 for argument's sake. For $40, this radio is the best radio that you can run. If you're not racing, I mean, it has everything on it. And I mean, check it out. The Muggy did his carbon fiber wrap. Look, I made this thing look sexy. This ain't no regular, you know, stock, you know, it's not modified, you know, because you can modify it, by the way. You can put recharge, which I might look into doing that. There's a hack to it. Put a rechargeable battery on it and you're good to go. But, you know, I put some carbon fiber on it, make it look nice and fancy, you know. Nothing too big. It wasn't like, you know, a bunch of work, but, you know, it looks cool. But anyway, the point is, this radio has all the functions that you need. You can run up to, I think, 9 or 10 whips on it. Okay, you can run boats on it, whatever you want. Airplanes, helicopters, whatever. The receivers that come in these things the reason I like these is because look how small these things are. These things are tiny, man. That thing don't take up no room. If you're worried about, you know, even if you were going to race, you can use this for racing. Look how small it is. So that now I no longer have this one here. So I contacted the company, Hobby something 15. This Flyski is a Chinese-based company. I haven't heard anything back. It's been like, this will be day 2 now. I don't know how long it's going to take them. If I don't, you know, I've had it 7 months, so I don't know. I'm just expecting the worst. That's the way I am. Hope for the best, but expect the worst. I'm expecting I'm going to eat $130. But what I will do, and hopefully that's the only issue, because then I won't be totally burned, is try to get another battery like this brand new, because maybe the battery just took a shit. But it doesn't work anymore. Like I said, the telemetry issues, and let me tell you guys, if you run these things, and I've tested them already, I've done the test work, so trust me. Again, I'm going off facts and information, okay? I'm not just talking out my ass. Those receivers, and even Elite, because he has 2 of them, plus he has the Noble one that I was gonna get. But trust me, if they don't take care of me in this, I will keep these and maybe buy another one. I will not buy another one of these, and I definitely won't buy the $200 Noble, which is the next level Flyski. Elite has one. He did a video on it, which looks like a nice radio, but I'm not going to spend that kind of money on a Flyski anymore. I'll be done if they don't take care of this. If they send me a new battery, something, whatever, if I got to eat this thing, I'm no longer going to buy this Flyski or the other one. I'll stick to these because I've never had an issue. I beat the hell out of these. I've got 2 of them, and I'm probably going to get another one. Okay, I might give one of my older ones, my first one, which I have over there, I might give that away in a contest. Who knows? For a newbie, I might package it up because I got all the box and the receiver and everything. You won't get servos, but I might give away one of these. I pay, you know, less than 40 bucks, around 40 bucks. What the hell? To help a new guy out, you know, to give back. I don't ever forget, and I don't, you know, guys can say what you want about me, make your comments, whatever. I give back, and that's what it's about. It's not about me. It's not about, oh yeah, look at all my cool shit, and I got next level all that. I think people get that twisted. I help people out. I have plenty of people that I help, and I will continue to help. Okay? But a closed mouth doesn't get fed. Or if I lead the horse to the water, I can't make you drink. You're going to do what you want to do. I love this hobby, man. I can't stress that enough. I have a passion and a man. Like I said, I eat, I sleep, shit, breathe this every day. I'm wrenching right now. I got to pull the Mugen motor out because I'm going to change the clutch on it. Okay, I'm probably going to run this hopefully later on today. I got a newbie coming by, pretty excited, getting this guy crossed over from E-Word into Nitro. He wants to do Nitro. But the problem is, he's got like 10 whips, but they're all garbage. He has one decent one. It's an older road car, Mugen, with a little .12 in it. Those things scream. You know, but I mean, you know, and you can't really run road cars just out, you know, anywhere. You got to go to tracks, otherwise you jack them up, you know. It's the reason I never really got into road. I can't just go out, you know, in front of my pad, or I can't just go up to my local BRAP spot and run my shit. I got to go to a flat surface or you mess those things up. So anyway, I'm pretty excited because he's coming by, and I've been helping this guy out. And I'm going to try to get him on video. He's camera shy. He doesn't, but I'm going to let him hold the camera. So maybe I might get a little bit better footage because I'll actually have somebody holding my camera, like Mr. Zod does. But I'm excited, and that's what it's about, man. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about helping other people out. And I'm just keeping it real. I'm not the blowed smoke up somebody's ass. I'm not going to tell you your Traxxas and your RTR is, you know, it's a start. But if you want to get to the next level, there's things that you're going to have to change. It's all about your approach. I got in one guy's kitchen, and if he's watching this video, he knows what I'm talking about, because he spent money to get an LRP .32 modified to put it in a piece of shit whip. Wrong move. And he's talking about, you know, I don't have, you know, a lot of money laying around to just go buy a new platform. Yeah, but you just spent how much money, $100-something bucks to get a motor modified for what? And you don't even have the freaking the Novorossi carburetor that you need to put on those .32. I don't know what you people are smoking back east or what. I don't know how many times I continue to tell people, you do not and you cannot, unless you want to have headaches and you want to get frustrated and you want to beat yourself up, you can't run the X-Tech stock carburetor on these motors and expect the thing to get dialed in. It's just not going to happen. Been there, done that. Trust me. John Bodegil, been there, done that, okay? If not, he would have been running it, okay? And I've tried other carburetors too. This LRP .32 will not get dialed in and run correctly without a Novorossi carburetor. Now, do you have to spend $100 on the carburetor? No. I told you guys before, you can get any plastic, older, you know, it doesn't have to be a brand new one. You can get them on RC, go check out RC Waffle. They buy brand new kits and they tear them apart and sell the pieces individually. But they have a lot of used shit. I've seen Novorossi carburetors just like the ones that come on these, but maybe like the ones that come on the .21s for like $40, $50. But you got to put a carburetor. You can't. And so anyway, to make a long story short, he doesn't even have the carburetor. And he expects he's going to throw in that thing and he's going to get it dialed in. He's going to run it on his shit whip and expects that RTR is going to hold up to a modified .32 LRP, let alone, we won't even talk about the tune. I'm not concerned about the tune. That's irrelevant. That's inevitable. He's not going to tune. That thing's not going to tune for shit anyway with that X-Tech carb on there. But the fact that he's going to put it in an RTR vehicle, he's asking for trouble, man. It will implode everything in the drivetrain. Trust me. If not, just like I said, experience it yourself. But don't come crying to me later when you're sitting there with a badass motor you just put money into and you got nothing to run it in now because it just destroyed your shit. I mean, think about, people, what you're doing. Think about the end result of what you do before you do it. I mean, I hate to harp on people, and I was kind of hard on the guy. I actually kind of feel bad. So if you're watching this video, you know who I'm talking about. You know, it's just, I'm so passionate about this, and I so not want people to go through all the bullshit, because that bullshit you go through is what sometimes, not all the time, but majority of the time, makes people quit and go do fucking e-work. Excuse my language. I hate that shit. And if I can prevent even one guy from getting fucking frustrated, excuse my language again, I'm gonna start cursing because I'm getting fired up, and leaving nitro and going to E-word because, oh yeah, you know, nitro's is too much work, too much. I love when I hear that. It's because you got a piece of shit motor, a piece of shit whip, and you're trying to get it shit dialed in, and you think that's what it's not. And yes, you do, can do what you got to do, and you can only afford so much. But if you gotta have the right approach. Okay, think with your head, people. Platform is the main foundation of anything. Screw the motors. I don't care if you got a .21 pull start or a dynamite even. Get a solid platform. Then put your badass motor in it. Then put some decent servos and a radio in it. Preferably not that one. Don't put this one in there, okay? Put this one in here. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if you're watching this video and you know who you are, I didn't mean to beat you up. I'm trying to help you from going through this, because I already know what's going to happen. It's in the cards already, so to speak. I already see it. I see you putting a modified LRP .32 badass motor. Doesn't even have a Novorossi carburetor, so it definitely is not going to get tuned, okay? They don't tune for shit stock, and once you modify them, it enhances the problems with that carb. The leakage, and just, it's a piece of shit carburetor. So, but, like I said, you're putting it into an RTR, and you think that, I don't care what you do to the diffs. I don't care if you think you got a bulletproof. It's not going to last. Trust me, you're going to destroy that thing. So just be, and I already told him. So he knows. But I'm not going to deny him. I know he's going to come to me and say, hey, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not saying that's, I'm not the Swami. The Muggy Maniac's not the Swami. I don't see the future. I can already just, I've been there before, man. So trust me. Like I said, this was my guinea pig right here. And this thing is better than a lot of whips that I've seen out there because of what all the upgrades I did to it. And still, it struggled with a stock 28.8. The modded 28.8, when I broke it in on here, if you guys seen that video, I don't know if it's still up, that's what exploded the 2-speed tranny on this thing. The clutch bell that has the two pinions on it, bursted them twice. And before I put steel spur gears on it, ripped all the plastic ones out. And I've actually cracked there's little bladders, shims type of bladders in these XTM diffs. If you guys have, you know what I'm talking about, it's inside the diff. I've cracked those too. This thing is just not designed for anything bigger. It came with a 24.7 pull start, and I blew that motor up. Okay? But it's just, these RTRs aren't designed for that shit, man. So anyway, the problem with the Flyski isue4s is when it gets hot on vehicles like the Mugen, because the Mugen, again, you look at where the receiver is. Habayos, Afnas, Hypers, they're all the same too. If you have a receiver that's close to the motor, when it gets hot, it'll start acting up. Trust me, that's what the issue is. Elite is like my go-to. He's Elite, I call him, he's the professor. He's my guy, my tech guy. When I have issues, like real technical shit like that, I go to Elite, man, and he knows his shit. He's been doing a lot longer than I have. Okay? 5th scale and 8th scale. Okay? And he was telling me, he goes, that's what's probably happening. And I tested it. So as soon as I put the old Flyski FS GT3B, I put it in here, and no problems. Doesn't matter how hot this thing got, I had no issues with it. So I took it out, put the other one back in from the isue4s, and it ran okay for a while, and like maybe 20 minutes into the run, obviously when it started to get hot, it started to have issues again. It started it didn't respond. It was like the battery wasn't getting any juice. And I've ordered 2 more of them, and these didn't work either. Same shit. And what happened is the heat, like I've even put them in other vehicles, the heat destroys these things. For whatever reason, because there's so much shit going on in here in these receivers, because of all the telemetry, you know, all the channels and shit, that they when they get warm, they don't work. So for a while, until my radio went out, it was running okay in the Techno, because look where the Techno is. It's right in the middle. It's not close to the motor, so it doesn't get hot. And I've never had an issue with that receiver in the Techno only. But in any other vehicle, even my buggy, Mugen, because it's obviously on the back too, it had issues. So if you have an isue4s and you don't have any problems, you know, as far as, you know, the problem I have now is the damn thing don't work. So I'm not, you know, I'm pissed, kind of, not really pissed, but I don't know what's going to happen. We'll have to wait and see. I'm just glad I have a couple of these Flyskis right here, man. I go back to the old reliable. Pound for pound, dollar for dollar for 40 bucks. I mean, it even has a digital screen. It has all the programs, everything in it. I mean, this thing has a lot. This thing has enough if you're not racing, okay? Now, if you were going to get into racing and you didn't have a lot of money, I would recommend this radio. It's decent. But now, I don't recommend this radio at all. Until I get this figured out, as far as if they take care of me, then I still won't recommend it to anybody. I'm just going to keep it real, because it's too much for recreational and bashing. You don't need it. And that's evident. I don't need it, really. These here, man, never had a problem. Beat them up, dropped them, everything. Never had a trigger break, ever, man. Never. And I've had that one over there for almost 3 years now. Okay? Since you know, yeah, probably longer than that. This one over here, I think, or vice versa. One of them's the newer one of them's the older one. So anyway, that's the issue with Flyski, and you guys do what you want. If you have one and you don't have any issues, then hey, knock yourself out, get another one. If they take care of me, like I said, I base a lot of my stuff on how the company, and again, there you go, technical support. If the company's not going to support you when you have issues with their shit, make it right, fuck them, excuse my language. I'm done with them. And I'll fucking drag their fucking name all through the mud as much as I can and say, do not buy this radio. Issues. Now, if you have one already and you've never had an issue, like Elite has too, never had a problem. Hey, man, to each his own. I wish I could say that now. I mean, I was cool, even, you know, I was even, you know, you had the problems with the receivers, you know, let me just keep it cool or run it in my Techno and I'm fine. But now that the radio doesn't work now, whether it's the battery or not, now I'm like, okay, I'm done with that radio. So I don't recommend them. If you guys want to go get one, test it yourself. Like I said, don't believe everything that I say. Do your own research. Spend your $130 and take your chances, okay? So I don't know if I'm totally out of this one yet. I don't know. Just that battery, it won't charge, it won't turn on, nothing. And it's not like it has 4 AA or 8 AA batteries where I can just check the batteries and replace them. It's a rechargeable battery, so who knows what's wrong with it? I don't know. It just doesn't work. One last thing before I go. Okay, I see people, and I'm going to call, and oh, one more thing. Raja, shout out to you, man. I knew once you got that Reds figured out, and once you got it, let me tell you something real quick about Reds. Reds motors are a little finicky. And I don't mean, well, I don't want to say finicky, but they're touchy, which means you can't over adjust. Their adjustments on them are very minute. Okay? If you over adjust this thing, say you're tuning it, right? Most guys, I don't know why, but they're turning, half hour, hour. You're crazy, man. Always tune in small increments. 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Quit being impatient. Patience is the virtue. I don't know how many times I gotta stress that. People get impatient and make stupid decisions and do stupid things and cost them money and headaches. And some of them just quit. Alright? Problems of your own making, people. When you're adjusting your motors and dialing in your motors, your tune, you know, I'm the first one to admit I sometimes do a half hour because I want it now. I don't want to sit here and do little small tunes, run it, do another tune. I'm like, fuck that. Let's get it dialed in. But a lot of motors, and especially Reds, they react to every little tune. Very small, man. And I learned that the hard way, you know. And maybe some people, you guys have to learn the hard way as well. Any of these Reds motors, stock, or even my modified one, man, as soon as I learned that, and that's what Raja was dealing with. He was having a hard time getting that thing dialed in. But you got to be patient with the Reds. Small turns, small adjustments. You know, once you get that thing dialed in, man, that thing is money. Did you guys see his video? That thing was singing the sweet tune, baby. That thing made me want to go out and fire up my Reds. You know, and you know how I am. I'm not too, you know, I love my Reds, don't get me wrong, but I'm into my modded motors and the big motors. But watching him run that Reds when he got it dialed in, man, that thing was singing the sweet song, man. So shout out to you, Raja, for hanging in there, sticking with it. I mean, and this is a guy, he has FX, he's got Novarasis, he's got OS, he's got all different motors. And he sold, and I'm not saying that he doesn't like the FX, but he knows that Reds is a sweet-ass motor, man. Remember, Reds designs those motors specifically to race. And you know why biggest reason why it's such a badass motor? And let me tell you why. FYI. And some of you guys might already know this. It's a Pico motor. Fact. Reds are not made by Reds. They're Pico motors. They're made by Pico. It's got the Reds name on it. It's just like Rolls-Royce. Okay? I'm in aerospace industrial manufacturing. CNC machining. I do deburring, polishing. I do a lot of different stuff. We deal with you know, aerospace. Boeing. Every plane that flies in the air is made by Boeing. Do you know that Boeing doesn't make their planes at all? Their name's on everything. They don't make nothing. It's outsourced to every little small company in the world. And our company is one of the ones. We do the landing gear on a lot of the planes. You know? It's not made by Boeing. And you know the motors? There's two motors that are in airplanes that fly in the sky. Commercial ones. Rolls-Royce, General Electric. Rolls-Royce doesn't even make their motors. Did you know that? They outsource it again. All the parts and everything that's on a Rolls-Royce motor or Rolls-Royce vehicle, Bentleys and so forth, Phantoms, whatever, are not even made by Rolls-Royce. They're made by some freaking guy over here in other part of the country, he's making the part that goes on the gasket cover, or the lifter rods, or the springs, or the rods that go in the motor, or the pistons are being forged. They're not even made by Rolls-Royce, and all that shit's sent to Rolls-Royce once it's done, and they assemble it and put their name on it. They don't make anything. So it's kind of the same with Pico. Pico Reds. Red's name is on it, but it's not made by Reds. Go ask Lance at RC Renew. He worked for Pico for many years. And he also worked for Alpha. And by the way, quick side note, he said Alphas are garbage. he used to work for Alpha too. You know? I think Mike B also, that guy that you guys seen his video, Mike B, he even said he ran Alphas. Garbage. Bearings went out. Anyway, if you have an Alpha that runs great, hey, disregard what I just said. Works for you, cool. But anyway, these are made by Pico. It's a Pico-based motor. It's got Reds. Reds does some of the designing, and they throw their little bells and whistles. They got their Red signature diamond backplate. But the base of this, the crank, the rod, the sleeve, the core of this Reds is made by Pico. That's why it's a badass. Just like my Pico's a badass. Picos are great motors, man. The only one that I don't have that's a great motor that I know is Italian, and the only reason I don't have it because they don't make I might get one, is the Works. It's the only one missing in my Italian arsenal. Because you guys know Muggy. I'm Italian or nothing, baby. It's all about Italian. It's all about Reds, Novarossi, Pico. And when I get one of these days, whenever I get around to it, I'm not too concerned about it, Works. Those are all Italian manufactured motors. Now you guys do what you want. Run your OSs, OSs, sure. They win races and they race them. They're made in China, man. And those guys that race them, they run the shit out of them so they can just pull another one out of the box. But for the average guy like us, first of all, I'm not going to never, and I told you guys before, spend $500 on any Chinaman motor. I won't spend $500 on any motor, period. Because I don't have to. I can get an LRP .32 and modded with the carburetor for $400, and that's about the max. Or I can just get a Novarossi 28.8, and if I just kept it stock, $200. If you look around, you can find these Reds. I don't know about the one that Raja has. I think it's a Corsica or WR7. I forget which one it is, but mine are different. But again, Raja stuck in with it. He got it dialed in. That thing is money, man. Reds are badass motors. If you guys are into your .21s, and I know there's a lot of you out there, get a Reds, run a Reds. Guys, those of you that have Reds, you already know. I don't need to tell you. You already know the Reds are sick-ass motors. Okay? Are they the most competitive motors in racing right now? Well, depends who you ask. They're up there. They're up in the top 10. There's a couple of them. Go look at the standings. I follow that stuff just to see who's doing what. LRP too. Somebody asked me about LRP. I don't run the LRP. Never ran an LRP 21. But obviously, Angarlo does well with it, and other guys do. Okay, so I know that LRP .32s are decent motors. And you guys are probably saying, hey, wait a minute, Muggy. We notice all this time. What's the LRP .32 doing in the Techno? Where's the Pico? Well, Pico's taking a break. Pico's dialed in. 2 gallons, purrs like a kitten, just rocking and rolling. Well, I got to look at the motors. Even though as much as I love my modified motors, and the Novarossi 20.8 modded right there, Rex is close to the 2 gallons. But I'm going to shut that one down for a minute. I need to get into this one because this is the the MM modded, Muggy modded, .32 LRP. This thing is nasty and getting nastier, and it doesn't even have 2 quarts to it. So we need to get this thing going. And I need to finish breaking in that R5R, which I might do that today. Which that's going to be the order. I'm going to run the RTR. I'm going to switch up some stuff on it. I'm not going to run the Pico pipe on it. The Reds pipe on it. And I don't think I'm going to run the 16 tooth. It's just, I don't know, I might just run it how it is. 16 pinion Works pipe with the Works header. These Works pipes are sick pipes. So because the header, the Reds that was on it before is more of a top, mid. This Works as more of a bottom, mid and bottom and mid. Maybe that'll help kick in this 16 tooth a little bit more, but still give me that top end. And I've got the street paws on it, so when the newbie comes over, he's going to bring his E-word, and he wants to run his E-word. So maybe I might smash on some E-words today on video. Who knows? Can't guarantee anything, but you never know. Oh yeah, Man, I get sidetracked. We were talking about the pipe. They're like, man, Muggy Maniac, you're everywhere. I sure am. Clean your pipes, people. Raja, you got some nice pipes, bro, and you got them thrown in that bucket. You got those motors, some nice motors. Man, you know what, Raja? I need your address, bro. I'm gonna send Raja 111 like a half a dozen of these stands, because he has a lot of motors that he just has tossed in, not tossed in, but sitting in a bucket. Man, I'm anal about shit like that. You know the Muggy's OCD. So, you don't have a buffing machine? Brasso. $4 and some change. Man, this shit right here is money. Okay? A little bit of elbow grease, sure. You know, but you just put it on, get it all hazed. But then, hold on. Then when you shine it up real good, this pipe's getting beat up. Damn, look at that. I still got to shine it up some more, but see what I'm saying, people? This is without being clean. This is just a little area that I started on. I don't know about you, but when I spend $100 on a pipe, I'm cleaning my shit. I don't care, man. My shit is polished after every time I run it. They're $100 pipes, people. If you got shitty, cheap knockoffs, don't worry about it. If you got especially Italian pipes like these, Novarasi's and Reds and Works and so forth, and Picos, man, clean your shit. Alright, take care of your shit. You know how the Muggy is. I can't stand, man, when I see people that have dirty shit like that, or, you know, and nothing bad about Roger, but when I see people that have, like, dirty whips, the first thing that comes to mind is like, man, that guy doesn't take care of his shit. What kind of example are you setting, Roger? Clean your shit, bro. Yeah, I know. You're a busy man. I know all about it. But clean your shit, though. That's no excuse. I keep referring guys to your channel. You know, you're making me look bad when they see your shit all tore up. And they're saying, wow, Muggy's pretty clean and OCD. You know, you don't have to be like the Muggy, you know, but upkeep, man. Remember, the main things I always preach. Learn how to tune your shit, your motor. Learn how to troubleshoot. You better become a good troubleshooter, because that's going to help lessen your headaches. 3, upkeep your shit. Okay, and before all that, get a solid whip, solid platform, okay? Alright? Sure, you might have to start out with a scrub whip or whatever, but you know what I mean? Get a solid whip. Save your pennies. I would, even if you have shit, run what you got until you can save enough money. Man, this was my first shit that I ran. And I ran it. I didn't get another RTR. I went to a frickin' race buggy. This was my second whip. My first quality whip was a Mugen race kit, not no RTR. You see where I'm getting at? I didn't go to no other RTR, from an RTR to an RTR. You want to progress or you want to digress? The point of a hobby is, I would think, is to get better. To advance, to get better. Not stay where you're at or go backwards. Now the third whip I got, what was that? Oh shit, it was a Techno. Okay, now we're moving up. And then I got a newer Mugen, sick-ass race truggy. You see what I'm saying, people? Just, it's all about your approach, man. Alright, so anyway, that's the issue I had. I got my Savox servos getting sent me. It seems like the Muggy's just, I'm sending shit back. Yeah, this is no unboxing. This is like, I don't know what you want to call it. It's not unboxing, though. So anyway, do what you want on the Flyski. That's the issue that I had. That's all I wanted to say. There's another hour of the Muggy Maniac, ranting and raving. That'll keep you guys marinated for a while. Anybody else has any other questions, issues, whatever, make your comments, but like I said, bring facts. Don't bring pea shooter, so to speak, to a freaking get blasted by the Muggy's 45 caliber. Okay? That's all. Make comments as much as you want. Just don't be ignorant. That's one thing I can't tolerate and I can't stand, is ignorance. And ignorance means, again, lack of knowledge and facts. So remember that. When you're done running your shit, or you're not running your shit, people, make sure, first of all, mark your flywheel, okay, like I do, and make sure that your shit is bottom dead center, and put some juice in it. Put some Muggy juice. Alright, people, that's all I got. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.